Today, I'm diving into a sci-fi time travel thriller called Zanox, released in 2022. The story kicks off on May 12, 2022. A girl walks alone through a desolate area when she senses someone tailing her. It's a man named Thomas, hooded, armed with a knife. Sensing danger, she pulls a weapon from her purse and stands her ground, but Thomas quickly overpowers her and presses the blade to her neck. Just then, an old man watching from his balcony spots them. Mistaking it for a lover's quarrel, he casually heads down to intervene, prompting Thomas to flee the scene. The next day, May 13th, we meet Misi, a quiet teenager having breakfast while watching a musician's interview. After eating, he takes his medication, an experimental drug meant to help with his panic attacks. His grandmother, clearly concerned, asks if the meds are working. Misi tries to reassure her, saying he's fine, but she warns him about the risks of experimental treatments and urges him to stick to natural food instead. Before heading out to take an exam, she lovingly packs him some French toast, just in case he gets hungry. Later, he's seen sitting outside his school, struggling to revise as a couple nearby gets a bit too cozy, distracting him. Eventually, he visits Zanox Pharma, where he checks in with Dr. Jayala, the one who prescribed his medication. She asks a critical question. Does he still want to continue this experimental journey? Misi tells Dr. Jayala that he's thinking about increasing his medication dosage, hoping it'll help even more. But the doctor advises the opposite. He says Misi's panic attacks have already decreased, so it's time to lower the dose, not raise it. He asks if Misi has experienced any side effects, and Misi replies, no. Satisfied, the doctor hands him a pack of 30 pills and tells him to come back in a month. Later, at school, Misi teacher asks him to pick a number for his exam paper. He chooses 8 and gets a question set on politics. While taking the test, he notices a classmate, Janka, cheating by writing answers on her thighs. Another student uses hidden AirPods to get answers. After the exam, both Misi and Janka are called in for questioning. Misi stumbles through his answers, while Janka struggles to understand anything. The teacher is speaking in English and she can't follow. Outside the class, Janka casually invites Misi to a party, but he politely declines, saying he's got stuff to take care of at home. That evening, while watching TV with his grandmother, she excitedly praises him. He's scored great marks on his test. She encourages him to go celebrate with his friends, but Misi shrugs it off. I don't like crowded places, he says. I prefer being by myself. Later, as he lies in bed, he can't stop thinking about Janka. He sees her photo on his wall, then checks his phone. Janka is already at the party having a great time. Something shifts inside him. Without thinking twice, Misi jumps out of bed, gets dressed, and heads to the party. On the way, he tries calling her, but she doesn't pick up. When she sees the missed calls, Janka steps outside the party to return them, but someone is already waiting in the shadows. It's Thomas. He ambushes her, puts a knife to her throat, and orders her to head into the forest. Janka panics and screams. In a frenzy, Thomas slashes her throat and disappears into the darkness. As Misi nears the party, he sees police everywhere. They question him, asking if he saw anything. Shocked, he says no, then tries calling Janka again. Just as he sees her being wheeled into an ambulance, her neck wrapped in bloody bandages, that's when it hits him. His anxiety, his heart races, panic floods in. But then he remembers Dr. Jayala's breathing techniques. He closes his eyes, focuses on his breath, and slowly, the panic fades. Suddenly, the ambulance starts to move. Desperate, Misi runs after it, but the driver hits the brakes. Misi crashes into the back of the ambulance and falls unconscious. Misi wakes up, dazed and disoriented, in a hospital emergency room. His head is pounding, and everything feels like a blur. In the same room lies an elderly patient named Yaoji, who seems oddly calm. As Misi tries to get up and go find Janka, a nurse gently stops him, telling him he needs rest. Yaoji, with a mysterious smile, offers Misi a sip of his homemade apple pálinka, a strong traditional drink. Without thinking much, Misi drinks it. Moments later, something strange happens. His body reacts, the world spins, and in a flash, he finds himself back home. Confused but alert, Misi realizes he's been transported back in time. Exactly 1 day earlier. It's May 13th again, the same day his grandmother told him to eat more fruits instead of relying on experimental meds. On TV, the exact same musician interview is playing, the same one he watched yesterday morning. Startled, Misi asks his grandmother the date. She casually replies, it's May 13th. When he checks his phone, she's right. Somehow, he's reliving the same day. Pills, unaware of what's going on. Then, at school, Misi greets Janka with a bold kiss and tells her to be ready, because the teacher is going to speak in English. He knows what's coming, and this time, he's ready to rewrite the day again. Later, Misi chooses number 8 again for his test, and this time, he nails it with confidence. After the exam, He heads back to the hospital to meet Yaoji. He takes another dose of the magical apple pálinka, and in return, offers Yaoji a drink too. Misi then sneaks the pálinka bottle back home and carefully hides it in a box, knowing how important it is. That evening, Misi and Janka attend the party again, but this time, he's not just there to have fun, he's there with a mission. Keeping an eye on Aldiko, he watches as she quietly slips out of the party, holding an empty beer mug. Misi follows her and tells Janka to stay behind. Outside, Thomas is waiting to attack Aldiko, just like before. But this time, Misi is ready. He ambushes Thomas from behind, knocking him out with the same beer mug Aldiko had. Shocked by what she just witnessed, Aldiko panics and runs back to the bar, falsely accusing Misi of killing someone. Meanwhile, Misi pulls off Thomas's hood, sees his face for the first time, grabs his wallet, and runs off into the night. Later, in a quiet corner, he opens the wallet and finds Thomas's ID, finally learning who he really is. When Misi returns home, bruised and battered, his grandmother is horrified. To calm him down, she gives him a Zanox tablet. Just then, the police show up at Thomas's house, looking for clues. Sensing time is running out, Misi quickly drinks the pálinka, hoping to rewind back to the morning of May 13th. But instead, he's transported to the exact moment when his grandmother was dressing his wounds, the last time he took the Zanox pill. That's when it clicks. The pálinka doesn't just send him back a day, it sends him back to the moment right after his last dose of Zanox. Realizing the police might be arriving any second, Misi warns his grandmother not to open the door for anyone. Then, without wasting time, he gulps down the pálinka again, desperate to escape. This time, he lands once again in the moment his grandmother is treating his injury. He quickly grabs the pálinka bottle, planning to run away before the police get there. But as soon as he opens the door, they're already waiting. With no time to think, Misi bolts. As he runs, heart pounding, he downs the pálinka one more time, hoping it'll take him back again, just far enough to fix everything. This time, Misi looks his grandmother in the eyes and tells her the truth. The police are going to come looking for him. He begs her to lie, tell them she doesn't know where he is. Though confused and worried, his grandmother agrees and does exactly as he says when the officers show up. Once they leave, Misi urges her to take a Zanox tablet and wash it down with apple pálinka, hoping she'll experience what he did, time travel. But nothing happens. He's stunned. Why isn't it working on her? Desperate and scared, Misi grabs a knife and storms out of the house. Minutes later, his phone buzzes. A breaking news alert shows his own face next to a headline about a murder. Then, a call from Janka. But Misi knows better now. The police must have forced her to call to trace him. He doesn't tell her anything. Meanwhile, the police question Janka about his drug use. She tells them the truth. Misi takes medication for panic attacks. The next morning, Misi waits outside Originox Pharma. The knife hidden in his pocket accidentally falls to the ground. People nearby see it and immediately notify the police. Misi doesn't wait. He rushes inside to confront Dr. Jayala. He pleads with him to drink the pálinka and prove the time travel theory, but instead, the doctor dismisses it and starts pouring the drink down the sink. Panicked, Misi cuts his own hand and threatens to take his life if the doctor doesn't cooperate. He even orders Andrea, the assistant, to tie the doctor's hands. Through tears and blood, Misi tells him that after drinking the pálinka, he'll go back in time, and it'll be his responsibility to save both Janka and Aldiko from being murdered on May 13th. Dr. Jayala finally drinks it, but nothing happens. He shakes his head and tells Misi that his medication is likely causing hallucinations, tricking his mind into believing he's traveling through time. Just then, police sirens blare. Misi tries to escape through a window, but he's caught and thrown into a patrol car. But before the door shuts, he sees something, the same reaction starting in Dr. Jayala's body. And then, just like that, Dr. Jayala is sent back in time to the last moment he had taken Zanox. The date on his phone now reads December 2nd, 2019. Everything Misi said was real. Determined, the doctor begins investigating. He interviews other patients, and although they say they feel fine, he secretly notes all their subtle, strange side effects. He reports his findings to the director, advising him to shut the experiment down immediately. The director agrees to destroy the entire Zanox stock, but Dr. Jayala keeps some for himself, realizing it could be his ticket to change fate. He tracks down Yaoji, buys the apple pálinka, and begins using it to time travel deliberately. In one timeline, he even uses it to win the lottery. Eventually, Dr. Jayala visits Misi's school and quietly tells him to choose number 8 for his test. Then, he advises Misi to go to the party with Janka, because it's the only way to stop the terrible future from happening. That night, as Aldiko leaves the party, Thomas once again tries to attack her, but this time the police are already there, ready to stop him. Dr. Jayala had tipped them off in advance, rewriting history just in time.